Welcome to my home. I'm Kate Javens.
Kate Javens is an amazing artist whose work has been collected by the Philadelphia Museum of Art, Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, the Telfair Museum of Art, the Blandon Museum of Art, and the Connecticut College Print Collection. I asked her how she has achieved this success at such an early age.
I am well aware that all the ambition, all of the talent or gift or whatever kind of ability isn't necessarily going to make them a success. And I know so many artists who work incredibly hard, who are just amazingly talented, and for whatever reason haven't achieved a certain kind of success. And I know it's just luck. It's luck, and I feel incredibly grateful for being lucky in some ways. My parents were incredibly supportive. I have to say my parents were 100% support and zero guidance, even. But that was good. That was exactly what I needed, just support. I went off to college, transferred from Penn State University, and went to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, where I really concentrated on painting. I met some of the best friends that I have in my art life there, and that's really where I began my artistic career. I began showing right out of school, and that I think gave me a certain amount of confidence. I wasn't afraid to work really big, and I loved it. I took advantage as well as I could of all the good luck that came my way, and I was surrounded by really generous artists also. That's a huge gift in life, to be surrounded by generous artists.
One of the generous artists that Kate met at the Pennsylvania Academy is Wade Schuman, a painter and musician who eventually became her husband.
He can play all of these instruments. Harmonica is his main instrument. Look at that big harmonica.
Can you play that?
I don't think his mouth is that big. My husband and I share an interest in animals, and when I was working on the bison series, he gave me this bison femur for my birthday. That's why my mother always says, you guys were made for each other. I love painting animals, and I'm really interested in American social history, and I found that they are a perfect subject to use to personify certain characters. They have traits that you recognize and can manipulate, and you can take freedoms with them that you can't with a human form because it's just too familiar. An animal is just strange enough. And I began this whole series using animals to commemorate characters from American social history. One of the first in the series was Andrew Furoseth, who was photographed by Dorothea Lange in 1934. He was secretary of the Sailors Union of the Pacific from near its inception in the late 19th century. He had an amazing face. He looked so much like a crow. He looked more like a crow than a person should. And I thought, I'm going to use a crow to commemorate him. And that began the whole Named For series, which I've been working on for years and years. Sometimes it's the way the person looks. Sometimes it's a symbolic trait that the animal, I think, has that will show the person. In the case of Derrick Bell, the bull, I chose that animal for just a symbol of visual weight. I thought it was really perfect for him. I use a reductive technique in that I apply the color heavy, and it's a one shot. It's like a high dive. So the color goes on, it's very dark, and then with medium, you remove it. And so in a way, it's kind of like making a sculpture in that the light is revealed, and that's where you get the form. This is my favorite brush. It's a wallpaper brush. I've taken exceptional care of it, and I've had it for 25 years, and I've painted almost every large painting that I've ever made with this brush. That's why I wash it so carefully. I think that if I were to be reincarnated as an artist again, that I would probably be a very formal abstractionist. Very minimal. It's sort of reflected in my studio. I really like very simple things. And sometimes when I'm working on my own painting, I think just reduce and get it down to that very simple, iconic form. That's where all the power is. It's just a weird twist that I'm making a recognizable image, maybe. I find it curious.